Hello and welcome back to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Long War 2 is here and it's time to start saving the world all over again. Before we get started, the major mods that I'm using are up on screen now. If you want to try them out for yourself, head over to the Steam Workshop and check them out. And also thank you to all the people that take the time to make these mods. It's a lot of effort and I don't know how the hell to make mods, so without the mod makers, I'd be lost. One last thing before we begin, another thank you to everyone who submitted a cool soldier name and backstory. Your troops are ready to save the world or die trying, and we're going to meet them all slowly but surely. It's worth noting that I may have added or changed a line or two for grammar or continuity reasons, but if you provided a backstory for a soldier, that story is the foundation. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Our first soldier goes by the name Mark Curahee Barden. He was brought to us by the Major Mario. Confined to his home for most of his life thanks to Advent curfews, Mark missed out on many social opportunities. Socially awkward and even abrasive, he spends little time with other XCOM operatives and instead secludes himself with books and old war novels. Despite his demeanor, he doesn't think twice about supporting his comrades on operations, perhaps to compensate for the opportunities he never had. So, let's see if Mark Barden can provide some much-needed support on our first Long War mission. Let's get into it. I think we've all waited long enough for Long War 2. Let's get into it. Instead of doing Operation Gatecrasher, Long War 2 has switched things up a little bit with just a standard ambush enemy troops. Advent typically moves its forces in large groups, but we have located a smaller unit on its own that's vulnerable. A well-timed assault will damage Advent's interest in this region and afford us a rare opportunity to bring home enemy corpses for research and other things. Am I right? So we're going to go ahead and click confirm and get right into this. Boom. Okay, now before we start killing some aliens, we've got two soldiers in here on our squad that were submitted by subscribers. We got Frederick Blackjack Carter, which was submitted by Blazing Caveman. And then we also have Mark Curahee Barden, which was submitted by the Major Mario. Boom, I got a paper with me. You hear that? I wrote it down. I came today prepared for anything. All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna start moving up our guys, trying to get into some safe positions, I'm excited. I'm excited for this, man. I haven't played XCOM in a very long time, so it's always nice to get back into XCOM. You know, and look at that, we got the first pod revealed already. The Advent officers, even in Long War, seem more capable than the grunts. Central Officer Bradford has not changed much, even though the campaign has. So we got a lot of interesting stuff to deal with. We got a lot of new mechanics to learn. This mod is very extensive. It is it's a total conversion, right? Which means everything, with the exception of the fundamentals of XCOM. Everything has changed, and since there's no turn timer on this mission, we can be a bit lax about how we move around and how we rotate. But you know, the fundamentals of XCOM still exist, but there's so many facets of the game that are different with this mod installed, and we're gonna learn about that slowly but surely. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head up onto this roof and make sure that there are no Advent up here smoking weed. Smoking ganja, and it doesn't look like there are any Advent on this roof. Thank goodness for that. So we're gonna stay in this position for now, just because I don't want to run the risk of moving into, you know, too far into unknown territory, reveal an enemy before I'm ready. I'm playing smart. I'm playing smart. It may have been a while since I've played XCOM, but I'm still damn good at this game. I still remember the basics. Blue move before you yellow move, right? Half covers no cover. Right, these are the basics, the fundamentals that we've been taught about. And it looks like we got two civilians standing over here out in the rain. Let me tell you something right now. If you are standing out in the rain without an umbrella, you're doing drugs. That's as simple as that. You know, because what the hell are these guys doing? Firaxis, fix your game. Give the civilians umbrellas. That made me laugh a little bit. But a cool, speaking of the civilians though, a cool feature that they've added with Long War is the fact that civilians will yell if they're startled. Because something that you well, at least I kind of forget, is the fact that XCOM is, at this point in time when the game first starts, is a terrorist organization. And that's all they are. XCOM is a terrorist organization. We are the insurgents, right? If you know, we are the insurgents that they talk about on Fox News, right? So I guess it's called Advent News now instead of Fox News, but we are the terrorists. And whenever civilians see us, they yell and scream. They panic. They get scared. And Advent will move in the direction of civilian yelling, which means startling civilians is doubly dangerous, right? Because you know you can startle a civilian, and that'll break your concealment, which is normal. But you can also startle a civilian, and that will cause Advent to rush towards you now, and that's just another thing to worry about, essentially. And we're gonna get a couple of guys up on this roof because this high up position is gonna prove to be very valuable. And we've got Nas Hull in here. If you watched XCOM 2 Alien Hunters Uncut, my last playthrough, then Carmel the Ultimate Dark Lord was, I believe, the person that submitted Nas Hull. I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm remembering that right. But in any case, he's undergone a little bit of a makeover, but he's still got that same mysterious vibe that he had before. And I think what we're gonna try and do, I'm not totally sure. The thing is, I don't want to get everybody on the roof because then I won't be able to make use of any grenades from such a far away distance. So we're gonna have to be a little bit brazen with some of our troops, but not too brazen. We'll start off with a blue move. Let's not get carried away, and then we'll just overwatch the rest of the guys. Boom, 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 boom. You know, but one thing I am genuinely curious to see about Long War 2 or Long War in general is the difficulty and how I cope with it, right? Because I'm good at XCOM, all right. Yeah, not to brag or anything, but I'm pretty good at this game. I've got solid strategy. I've got tactics. I know what I'm doing, right? And you know, not to brag or anything, but the last time I did a playthrough of this game, I was playing with all pods active. And let me tell you something about all pods active. All pods active is crazy. But essentially, you know, when you activate one pod with all pods active, all the other pods on the map activate instantly. And that's really cool. But it spikes up the difficulty ridiculously. But I think with some of the adjustments that were made to the way sound works, we'll have the pods activating differently. And we just got a really nice wombo combo. Those guys moved towards that car, and that was their last mistake. We got a nice quadra kill. That was freaking beautiful. So, but you know, on that note, if all pods active was installed, then all the other pods on the map would have activated after we cleared this one. But things are still going to function in a similar manner to that because of the way Advent has been tuned to respond to sound. So the pods aren't active yet, but if the mod is working as intended, all the other pods are going to be moving towards that explosion because, you know, they're basically like, what the fuck was that? Did that car just explode? And you know, they're like, yeah, that car did just explode. It's like, oh my god, did that car just blow up? It did. And apparently we got Vipers on the first mission, which seems a little bit over the top. Nazhul getting a good shot. We got, shit, I forgot his name. I think that was Kirahi. Alright, we getting a nice ambush out here. Damn. Come on. We got one more. Shane Long coming in hot. I think Shane Long, correct me if I'm wrong, if that was Hebon's Z-Refi. I believe that's who named Shane Long. But that was a good ambush right there. And we're doing pretty well straight off the bat. And we're already seeing that sound mechanic is terribly interesting. Because it makes for some interesting moves. It makes for some interesting moves. I'm really curious to see how Long War continues to evolve. And this position is actually terrible. I've made a bad mistake, and I'm glad that was not a yellow move. Because if there are Advent coming from this direction, they're going to be able to flank me. So I'm going to go ahead and take a step over. But now, though, we get to see one of the new units. This unit was added with the Long War Alien Pack. This is the Advent Surveillance Drone, a.k.a. Cancer. This thing is, and I shouldn't say that, but the Advent Surveillance Drone is a pain in the ass. It is definitely a high priority target, so we're going to try and take it out as quickly as possible. It's essentially a crowd control type unit. It's got all of its abilities have some sort of capacity to crowd control, and it has a decent amount of armor for the early game. So it's a bullet sponge in the early game, and we did take it out. These civilians are very afraid, and we're just going to overwatch the rest of the crew because we're in a pretty solid position with everybody else. This is going well, man. This is going way too well. All right, it doesn't look like any other pods are moving towards us. So, who's got the most health? Who's got the most health? Who can reach that loot? Damn. Because you know what? I'm not trying to leave any loot behind on this mission. So, I'm taking everything. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, Mandisa Codis is a randomly generated soldier, so she is gonna go pick up the loot. And if she dies, fuck it. There you go. You grab that loot. An alien strongbox and an Illyrium core. That alien strongbox is courtesy of Grimmy's loot mod. So let's take that. And I guess we can move into this higher up position, and I don't want to be too reckless. I don't want to be too reckless with my moves because things are going really well right now, and they honestly shouldn't be going this well. So I'm not gonna do anything out of control because I'm good at XCOM. Okay, not to brag or anything. But one of my biggest issues when playing this game, damn it, come on, guys, where are they? One of my biggest issues when playing XCOM is that I have a tendency to rush a little bit, and I'm gonna try not to do that. I'm gonna try to play it smart all the time. But at this point, though, what we're gonna do is ooh, there we go. Yes, these guys make up the bulk of the Advent forces, and they are Power Rangers. We're gonna skip over the majority of the dialogue just because it's a little. I'll include the story dialogue, but I'm gonna skip over some of the more basic dialogue that Central Officer Bradford uses. So you know, if you've never played XCOM before, you will get a little taste of the story from this playthrough. But if you have, hopefully you won't be too annoyed by the little story elements popping up from time to time. But we actually don't have vision on the enemy with a lot of our guys. Hopefully we can get them to really start advancing on us so that we can continue to capitalize our height advantage. But for now, we're going to try and get them to come to us because they will do that, I believe. You know what? We're just going to overwatch all because most of my guys are in solid positions. And we don't want to give up our advantage. Oh yeah, they're not even trying to be about this life. This is interesting. They know what's going on. They're not playing stupid this time. They are coming for us. There's heavy fire in this zone. All right. That was close. All right, but you know what? Our randomly generated soldier is now in a fantastic position to chuck grenades wherever her heart desires, and I do believe her heart is desiring to throw a grenade at these two guys. Can't get them both. Can't get both of them. But I can get one of them and knock out the other guy's cover. So we've got... why don't we take a look at them just so we... so we've got the standard Advent Trooper right there. We've got the Advent Sentry, which is the blue Power Ranger. And then we've also got the green Power Ranger, who is the Advent Gunner. Advent Gunner just does some pretty nasty damage and has suppression. The Advent is it Sentry or is it Sentinel? Sentry. The Advent Sentry is an Overwatch master, right? And what he'll do is he'll shoot, and then he'll move, and then he'll Overwatch. And that is brutal. That is a brutal combination of moves, and it's a pain in the ass. So we're going to have to take him out pretty soon. And boom, we killed him, and we destroyed whatever loot he was carrying, but we did not destroy these IKEA shelves that are inside the building. So that's a problem. Jeez. I was really hoping for that destruction. But another thing that has changed in the Long War mod is they've tuned down via some any tweaks the amount of destruction that can be dealt by grenades. Look at that camera angle. Firaxis, fix your game. I'm kidding. But yeah, they've tuned down the amount of damage that basic grenades do, which is again, it's at increasing the difficulty. It does make things feel a little bit more real, if that's the right word for it. But it's a pain in the ass because I'm kind of used to some of the dumb shit that happens in XCOM. Like being able to run at a building with a sword and chop off half of the building. You know, dumb stuff like that shouldn't happen, and it should obviously be tuned a little bit differently. But it isn't, and that kind of I've kind of grown accustomed to that kind of dumb stuff happening on a regular. But another cool thing about Long War that I don't think I've mentioned yet. Spoiler alert, I've restarted this recording, I think, 4 times. I won't tell you why. It's because I'm an idiot. That's why I restarted it so many times. But another cool thing about Long War is the fact that we just crit that man in the face for 7 damage. Mr. Mark Burton is a badass. All right. Forgot your name already, man. Major Mario. You've created a badass soldier. It's the glasses, man. He's got pinpoint accuracy with those things. But, right, a cool thing about Long War is that everyone has 3 utility slots, and one of those slots, by default, is used for a piece of armor called ceramic plating, which functions similar to armor, except it gets shredded by any sort of damage. So it's basically just extra padding to make your soldiers a little bit more durable, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So we're almost done with this mission, though. It's going significantly better than I thought it was going to go. You know, all right, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. The first 3 times I did this mission, it was essentially a warm-up, right? Because, you know, I had to shake off the rust. And fact of the matter is, all right, I'm not ashamed to say it, but Mark Barden, he died the first time I did this mission, and we can't have that because we just met him. We just met Mark. We can't have him getting shot the fuck up on the first fucking mission. Okay, so I had to restart just to, you know, we'll consider those first couple of restarts a cold start, and now this is this is a warm start. You know, it's nice. We've heated up the engine a little bit, and things are doing better. Come on, he's just so well dug in. You know, it's you know, and he's on Overwatch. All right, let's just Overwatch everybody, because I'm not trying to lose my guys on the first mission on some nonsense. Now watch him crit somebody in the face for 12 damage. Oh, please. Please don't. He's not leaving that building. All right, I feel like there's definitely been a tweak made to the way the AI functions and how they move, because they're definitely being more intelligent. They're retreating. They're They're using their cover. They're not advancing recklessly. They're not charging into their death, and I respect it. But you know what? At some point they gotta surrender, and that point is now. Sheila fires, about to chuck a grenade at this man's face. Sheila, show him why he doesn't mess with the redheads. Boom. Destroyed the loot. I'm destroying all the loot, but it has to be done. Alright, we gotta get these kills. We gotta get these soldiers home safe. Alright, it's the first mission. We can't have casualties of war on the first mission. Jeez, man. Jeez, man. I gotta start... Alright. Yeah, we just got one guy. We gotta chase him down. We can't let him get away. I'm just gonna cut this part out. Oh, but it's uncut XCOM. Why would you cut a part out? And there we go. We are done with our first long war mission, and we were flawless. I'm a little surprised, but I'm very happy with this outcome. In the next episode, we're going to be in the strategy layer portion. We're going to be looking at the Avenger and some of the new features that they've added with the Long War II mod. Like I said earlier, this mod is very in-depth. It makes a lot of really cool, really interesting changes to the way the game functions, and we're going to take a look at all of it. So, as always, the name of the game is XCOM 2. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.